Hello, everyone. We are again back after the T20 international tournament getting over between England and India. And India brought its maybe game in front and was able to secure a 4-1 victory against the strong looking England team on paper, but had its own fare of struggles. So I'll start with we have in the box today Sagar, who's our very own leg spinner of North Stand Gang, and we have our uh, bowling batting all rounder Rishabh Mahale, who's just back from his overseas tour from Australia. Welcome, gents, and let's review the recently concluded T20 international between England and India. All right, so
Thanks,
let's open the
Amit. Thanks.
forum. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
open the forum. I'll start with Rishabh. Rishabh, what do you think about the Indian batting order in this series, and what were the key performances except the man here in the background, Abhishek Sharma?
So I think if I have to rate, right, that one guy behind you actually was behind the entire Indian team. Like how he is just taking care of you by being there. That's exactly what he did for the entire team as well. He was the one. He was pulling the entire team through. We saw what he did at Wankhede. That was a mad innings. But apart from that as well, he played some crucial knocks. More importantly, he spent that time out there in the middle till 8-10 overs. Apart from that, I think the batting order didn't really fire. uh, we saw what Surya Kumar Yadav did, hardly any double digit score. Then Tilak Varma, yes, on and off. But apart from, I think the one guy behind you, it was Hardik Pandya, who sort of steadied the ship towards the end to take the score to a decent extent. But apart from that, I think none of the Indian batters stood to the extent that we hope they should.
Yep. And because you talked about Sky, right? Um, do you think he's suffering the captain's curse?
I'll let my captain of the other NSG team, Sagar, to answer that.
Hey. Okay. That is a good pun, Rishabh. We know who is the captain and all that. Okay. But yeah, anyway, see, I mean, batting, I would really not be very concerned because, see, this is actually what we wanted, when the transition to a very modern looking T20 setup was envisioned. This is what we wanted in terms of an ultra aggressive approach. You wanted the top 7 8 batters to go, you know hell for leather, from ball one, and that is what we are getting now. This approach, you will find batters facing the consistency issue. Okay, we will never have someone like a Sanju, or even Abhishek for that matter, who are our openers, scoring consistently, because that requires some amount of application, and some controlled shot making. But the need of the hour is, tonking each and every ball. So so I think that is pretty much accepted. Sky, I mean, again, would not be very concerned. Captain's curse, we have seen that, it does happen multiple times, that the captain does not get to perform, but his overall demeanor on the field, okay, the way he's marshaled his troops, and um, I think the bowling changes, some strategic things that he's done, I don't see a concern on that part. And with the quality that he has, we can be rest assured that he'll come good. That is for sure. So all in all, I feel the batting unit looks pretty good to me. And as you just mentioned, Rinku batting at 7 or 8. I mean, we know what
That's
that
scary. That's
guy.
scary for the opposition.
Yeah. I mean, someone with that ability coming in so deep. So, and that is also the reason why these guys can take that ultra aggressive approach, because they know
Correct.
that even though in a spot of bother, you have Hardik coming in. Hardik has shown over the past year or so that he can be a very dependable T20 batsman. Rinku, exceptional finisher. And then we do have someone by the name of Tilak Verma, who I feel currently in this setup is our best batter. Even though
Yeah,
Abhishek has got those runs, even though Shivam Dubey, was man of the match in one of the matches, and he scored big runs and all that.
yeah,
But looking at that batting order, Tilak Verma is, I feel, the fulcrum around which
yeah,
this batting unit will evolve over the next few years, because he is definitely the best batsman. For me, he is the best batsman in this T20 setup as of now.
yeah. Also,
No,
that reminds me of what Gambhir said after the series, that they consistently target 250 to 260 runs, and that's the aim basically. If you score the amount of runs that are required in T20, and most of the wickets are belters for the batters, so that should be good. But what I feel is 250 or 260 would have been an acceptable score even in the border Gavaskar trophy that concluded. But but le-
but
but
no,
that's
I
Hey,
think
let's not go there. Let's not go there.
see, I think there's
that's
a
that's
common
enough
thing.
of sledging to Mr. Gambhir here already.
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I'll tell you what, 250 would have been okay there, but we played like how England played here. So it's the opposition's curse. You know, the way England were batters were walking in, walking out. That's exactly what we did there since we were the visitors there. But I want to ask both
Yeah,
of you guys. Sagar mentioned about the ultra aggressive approach, all of that. That yes, you go slam bang. T20 cricket is all about that. Accepted. But the fact that that score or whatever 180, 190, 200 you were getting was looking a huge score because your spinners were bowling well.
yeah,
Plus, you could play
mhm,
Dubey as well as Hardik Pandya, and you could only have like a one full time pacer like a
yeah,
Shami or an Arshdeep in your side. The
yeah.
thing is, when you go overseas, you
Hmm.
won't be able to play three spinners because obviously the ball doesn't turn much. Then you will play extra pacers. Then you will be made to think of either you play Dubey or you play Pandya because to fit in the all rounders, fit in the balance. At that point, will you still feel that this ultra aggressive approach will come into picture? I mean
Sagar,
that is my only concern.
is it only with me, or even you are facing some issues with Rishabh?
No, no, I'm hearing him very clearly,
Okay.
very
You
clearly.
you are acting like Gambhir in the press conference, selectively ignoring.
No, fair point, yeah, Rushabh. I mean, see, the conditions will always and always dictate your gameplay. Okay, and we have discussed this multiple times, not just in white ball cricket, in red ball cricket. Reading the conditions, reading the pitch, and getting your best 11 is always the what are you gonna say? It's the necessity for winning any match. Okay, so if I have to say that whether this approach, whether this particular lineup will work overseas, maybe in England, maybe in Australia, definitely not. Definitely not. So, and that is what cricket is, yeah. That is what makes cricket such a beautiful sport. That you cannot have a single technique, you cannot have a single approach, you cannot have a single gameplay strategy for each and every match, for each and every wicket, even in India for that matter. Yeah, I mean, we saw and over the last years, few years, whatever T20s we have played, there have been conditions which have helped the bowlers. You have to change your approach. I mean, that's what cricket is. Yeah, if you cannot adapt to the conditions, boss, I mean, you will never succeed.
No,
Yeah,
that's true, and that's why I somewhere feel that this slam bang approach is. I mean, just because it's working, it's working. I mean, if you ask me, you can call me a traditionalist or call me old school, but I would still prefer, like what Virat Kohli does: comes in, plays 30 balls, scores a 50 in that, while the other player just roll over. Everyone coming in just throwing a bat at it. I mean, it's not. It's a temporary fix, is what I feel.
No, that's what I'm saying. But it's all about the conditions, yeah. It's all about the conditions, all about the pitch. I mean, Wankhede, we all know, yeah. It's a pata, it's a road, and especially they do that for white ball cricket. And the only saving grace for bowlers is if you can get some swing, and if you are someone like Varun Chakravarti who can ball what you can say, very very controlled lengths. You know, it's all about that. So I mean, yeah. So as we go overseas, we go anywhere else, I'm sure the think tank will, think of the approach differently.
Yeah.
But a very
Also,
good point about controlled length of Varun Chakravarti. There was a side which had exactly gotten that control very wrong. They were not very sure
Yeah,
where to bowl. They were just running in and trying to get that ball to the batter's end at one bounce, and they got smacked all over across the series. So, Amay, I want to ask you about the England bowling. You know, they have someone like a Jofra Archer, Mark Wood, probably the fastest guys in world cricket at this point. If you see, there were Jamie Overton, there was Cars who were coming in, who were going on and off with the side. Adil Rashid bowled well comparatively if you look at all the bowlers, but especially what you have to say about those fast bowlers who were considered dreaded but were actually made worse than club bowlers.
yeah, true. I mean, I completely resonate with what you're saying. In fact, there is a funny stat bit here. Adil Rashid's and Bisnoy's um, overall series figures are identical. Both have bowled 17 overs, have gone for 132 runs, and have taken 5 wickets.
Wow.
Yes,
But Bishnoi seemed
both.
like a complete different bowler, right? Since he was in the winning team, maybe.
Yes, yeah, or maybe also Bisnoy did really bowl very consistent, despite there was consistency shown by the other bowlers in the side as well, but he looked pretty much in control. However, I have a question later for our very own leg spinner about the speeds at which Bisnoy keeps bowling. Maybe there is a room for a very slower ball for a spinner in between, just to slip on and see if there can be a top edge somewhere on the third man, or maybe at the boundary. However, we'll come to that. But your point about the English bowlers, right, is pretty spot on. Um, Not sure if Archer really is a T20 bowler, to be honest. He is a very good um red ball bowler, no doubt about it. But his bowling, he bowls those occasional wicket taking balls here and there, but there are also a lot of boundary balls that follow. And not sure if T20 is really his format. About Overton and Cars, I would say that they still are much better T20 bowlers than Archer, because they vary their lengths. They have Yorkers. I have not seen a single Yorker from Archer um, in the last 5 matches. So not sure if he is even a T20 bowler for England in the long run, considering that we have a T20 World Cup in Asia, in fact in India and Sri Lanka next year. So not sure if Archer is in the mix of the things for England in the long run. However, this series is giving them a peak, if whether he really fits into the bill or not. Now, talking about Mark Wood, has the pace, but I think, um, uh, I mean, you need to have those T20 specific specialist skills that will take you towards having a figures of 40 runs, okay, in 4 overs, but you at least have a couple of wickets on your name.
So, I mean, you said Jofra Archer is not a T20 bowler. Apparently, his IPL captain smacked him for 16 runs in the very first over in yesterday's game. So, I'm not
Absolutely.
sure how tensed he would be with that. But, coming to a very interesting point, which I heard in commentary in yesterday's game, right? That Cars got 3 wickets in that, even
Mhm.
though he went for runs, obviously, all the bowlers were tormented. But the fact that he was the only bowler who was trying to change the pace, he was trying to bowl those slower
Yes.
deliveries. All of them, all others, Mark Wood and Jofra Archer, they were just running in, bowling at 145 plus 150, and they were just being smacked all over the park. So, our favorite thing, right? When players don't perform, we look at the coaches. Do you think that there that it was a lack of planning or a lack of what do you say, knowledge transfer from the coach, from the bowling coach to these guys, that guys, you need to gather yourself and this is what you need to try, because that
Yeah.
seemed like a complete brain fade. They were just taken by surprise by what happened yesterday.
Yeah, could be. And also, like Sagar said earlier, right? Wankhede is a batting paradise. especially after this new stadium that has been built. Right, there is hardly any assistance post 7:30 or 8 o'clock. In that golden period between 7 to 8, there is still some movement, and we have seen that there is some assistance for the fast bowlers. But after that, right, it's all batsmen who have to make sure that they take the bowlers out of the park. However, I feel England was not really very well prepared for this, even for with the bat and with the ball. I don't think they are not picking the right players, but I feel that um, everything is not gelling up as they would have liked, is what I feel. If you see all of these top batting players that they are all IPL contracted players. They should do ideally well, but we don't see any consistency from them.
So I mean, enough has been spoken about the England bowlers not being able to do the England batters. Sorry, the Indian batters performing the way they did. I want to know from both of you. There was one player who, when he came, burst onto the scene, was talk of the town in the IPL, went for crores of rupees for a particular team, played just one match, and was benched for the entire season. Went unsold, went back to the domestic T20 circuit, performed there, got picked by a side, nurtured by that side. He's currently the retained player, one of that. In one of, I mean, in those team, one of the retained players. And then when he came here to bowl, talk of the town, like the entire bowling, all the focus shift from the likes of your Arshdeep and your Mohammad Shamis and the Hardik Pandyas to a certain guy called Varun Chakravarti. And when you look at him, right, he's someone who's not in the media, will not talk much. You ask him a long question of 100 words, his answer will be in 20 words, and he'll be just looking blank at you that yes, I'm finished. Ask me the next question. That's how less he talks. Very much unlike us, what we like to do, but when you look at him or when he's bowling, right, when you look at those slow motion cameras where he bowls back of the hand deliveries like what a slower ball is. I think from
Yeah.
all of these gaps, right, the ball can come out from any of the gaps, and I'm not sure even he knows what he's doing, let alone what the batter is. But talking about what Sagarada mentioned, control, what or how would you describe this performance by Varun Chakravarti?
Sagar, you want to go
So
first?
yeah. So I have closely followed him, observed him for quite some time, and I think the biggest asset, or the biggest what you can say advantage that he has over any other bowlers, and we have seen mystery spinners coming and going, is his control over the lengths. Okay, he will not give you hittable balls very easily. You will have to manufacture shots, footwork करके उसको ये करना पड़ेगा. And the very fact which Rishabh mentioned, that the way ball comes out of his hands, okay, and I think that he is also not sure कि ball किस तरफ जाने वाला है. So if हाँ नहीं तो उसको ही नहीं पता तो बैट्समैन क्या ये करने वाला है. So but what I what I can see is his control over the length, and most importantly for a spinner, and for someone who has a finger spinner, who is a finger spinner, is the pace at which he bowls. Is the pace at which, and he is, I think, a master in that, controlling his pace. Okay, समटाइम्स स्लो, क्योंकि उसका मैंने देखा है, यू नो, अनलाइक एनी अदर फिंगर स्पिनर्स, उसका बॉल डिप भी होता है, उसको उसको ना ड्रिफ्ट मिलता है थोड़ा सा, और डिप भी होता है बॉल. तो वो करना, फॉर अ लेग स्पिनर इट इज इजी इन द सेंस, वो नेचुरली आ जाता है, बिकॉज यू आर गिविंग दोज रेव्स ऑन द बॉल. तो
Yeah.
वो रेव्स की वजह से बॉल डिप होता है, या it will also drift in the air, but he has that ability to do a bit in the air, and then for off the pitch, whatever happens. And I have looked at his dismissals of Harry Brook को, उसको मतलब उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है वो क्या क्या डाल रहे हैं, मतलब ही इज लिटरली क्लूलेस. what Varun Chakravarti is doing. Literally clueless कि वो front foot पे खेलेगा, back foot पे खेलेगा, किधर खेलेगा, मतलब the way he's gotten out, ऐसे लग रहा था कोई club level का cricketer आ गया है, and he's batting. Literally, मतलब no reading of the length, the pace, and the ball is just rocketing off the surface between his. So I think Varun Chakravarti, big asset for the Indian team, and I think he's improved also. If you look at Varun Chakravarti a few years back, he was not this good. So he's worked on his bowling, and as typical of spinners from South India, thinking cricketers. So he comes across, he gives that impression that he is thinking cricketer. And क्योंकि जब आपका game evolve होता है ना, जब you start improving your game, you start adapting to conditions, you know that you have given a thought to your game. Yeah.
Also one thing na jo Sagar Dada ne mentioned kiya about getting that drift and that dip and all. What makes him difficult to pick is uska jo arm bowling arm hai na, it comes down pretty fast. So
Hmm.
usually तो हम बोलते हैं कि cricketing terms में watch the ball from the hand, हाथ में pick करो कुछ अलग कर रहा है क्या. His hand comes down at a certain pace that it's very difficult to pick कि यार ball कौन से gap से आ रहा है उंगली के. And I think that is
Yeah.
what makes it difficult, and that is the same point he mentioned कि Harry Brooks समझ नहीं पा रहा था. So naturally, when you can't pick it from the hand, you try to pick it from the length once it pitches. कि अरे ठीक है ये इधर गिरा तो I'll put my feet forward. पीछे आया तो I'll go short गिरा तो I'll go back. But again, that dip is again deceiving because you're not able to understand the depth at which it will pitch, and after that वो कितना bounce होगा. Because if you see,
Hmm.
turn is not something which Varun Chakravarti has. Deception is his key. He's not someone who'll turn the ball a lot. And if you look at the
Yeah.
stats, almost 95% of his deliveries he bowls is on the stump. So batsman always has that on the back of his mind. Ki if I miss by mistake, it's for sure going to hit the stump. So I think
Yeah.
it's that action as well as that attacking stump, that line more importantly, which works for him.
Yeah, which reminds me, Rishabh, of the question that I wanted to ask Sagar about Bishnoi. So Bishnoi consistently hits that 100 kmph mark, right? Do you think there could be a variation of a slower ball that he could put in just to deceive the batsman here and there?
Yeah, definitely. Bishnoi, and see, and again coming back to arm speed, huh? So Bishnoi,
Hmm.
what he bowls is very similar to Rashid Khan. ठीक है, he will
Yes.
bowl more googlies than the conventional leg spinner. ठीक है, that is one thing. However, again, the biggest difference between him and Rashid Khan is very strong through the crease. His action, and if you see, he literally bursts onto the crease, and he will ball at that. Bishnu is not there. Bishnu is more rhythmic, like a classical off spinner, but then his bowling style is that of Rashid Khan. So that is where the
Hmm.
mismatch is happening. And if you ask me, leg spinners ka, who is the most successful leg spinner in T20s?
Amit Mishra.
Yeah, yeah. Typical classical leg spinner. हवा
Absolutely.
देगा, ड्रिफ्ट कराएगा, डिप कराएगा, सब कराएगा, and he's got hat trick. ठीक है. So
But Sagar,
uh,
were you expecting that answer, or was it a different answer you were expecting?
no. That is Amit Mishra. Yeah, come on. And
Yeah,
I
true.
mean, exceptional T20 bowler, exceptional T20 bowler, and I think that is an art. Again, someone who bowls leg spin, that is an art I see kind of fading away. So, but yeah, Bishnoi will have to get that variation in his
Get that
bowling to be
one.
more
Yes.
effective. क्योंकि उसके पास वो राशिद खान वाला जो पेस थ्रू द क्रीज है ना, वो नहीं है. ठीक है, इवन दो बॉलिंग स्टाइल इज सिमिलर, इवन दो बैक ऑफ द हैंड गूगलीज और बॉल स्ट्रेट होते जाएगा, वो जो राशिद खान की एक्शन की वजह से जो ऑफ द पिच जो पेस आता है ना, वो उसके पास नहीं है. एंड दैट इज द सेम प्रॉब्लम विच द अदर अफगान गाय, द मुजीब. मुजीब हैज,
Mujib.
व्हाई
Correct.
मुजीब इज नॉट एज सक्सेसफुल एज राशिद, बिकॉज उसका स्ट्रेंथ नहीं है उतना एक्शन में. वो
Correct.
आके वो
Correct.
फ्लोटर्स डालते रहेगा, विच बिश्नोई. सो दीज बॉलर्स until and unless they develop a classical leg spinner as a variation, थोड़ा सा वेरिएशन, वो they will not succeed.
Yeah.
But
You spoke about a classical T20 bowler, right? I think none other than Dube is our classical T20 bowler. Okay. At least Gambhir feels so. Sorry, Rishabh, you had something to say in
no,
between.
I was just saying that why do we look at Bishnoi as a leg spinner? I mean, while talking, Sagar Tata by mistake called him an off spinner, and that's exactly what he is. And an off spinner in his 4 overs will bowl three or four wrong ones, and that's exactly what he does. He,
A
he
wrist
just
bowler.
bowls, he just bowls with
Yeah.
that leg spinner grip, but he's ideally you play him as an off spinner. Out of
Mm.
those 24, three or four will turn leg. Just because his ball is coming from behind the wrist, you can't call him a leg spinner, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if just look at it that way. For the off
Yeah.
spinner that he is, that the way he's bowling, I think 100 kilometers is fine. That's what even Washington does, especially when he plays T20 cricket. You bowl fast, don't, because you know that the ball is not going to turn off the surface.
Mm.
Just bowl where they can't hit you, or they are just troubled by that pace,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, even at that pace, right? Dubey is a classic bowler. And over to you, Rishabh, to talk about Dubey
So
and the next topic.
he's the man with the golden arm, right? What Ganguly used to do previously. Come in when you want to break partnership, just run through the crease, and you'll feel like, oh, what a classical fast bowler, and the ball will just come to you, and forever it
Only
will take.
Ganguly would hide the ball like this.
Dubey is more confident. He does not need to do that. He has that full confidence in the way he bowls. And yesterday, you saw, I think he got 2 wickets yesterday. He got the first wicket of his very first delivery. And mind you, he was a concussion substitute, or he was concussioned in the previous game. So, what a comeback, right? From injury, if you say so. And whatever it may be, he's a World Cup champion, right? He was a part of the team which
Yeah.
won the T20 World Cup. So
Yeah.
it was a surprise that he got a chance, especially the way he performed in the Ranji Trophy game, which he played against Jammu and Kashmir, two ducks. To get back to play that, I think you need to give him credits. And often the number he bats, the sort of innings he plays always goes unnoticed because someone above him with the bats does well, or someone below him with the ball does well. So that's a
Mm.
But
very tough phase to be in.
but about the decision to have concussion substitute as Rana, what do you have to say about it?
That is my moment of the series. Let alone what Abhishek Sharma did, let alone what Varun Chakravarti did. The moment of the series was that when you have somebody like a Ramandeep Singh in your squad, right, who probably bats at the number where Dubey does, bowls right arm medium pace like what Dubey does. How on earth does an Harshit Rana get into the side? I mean, the only way the match referee could have thought that he's a like for like replacement is maybe you make them both stand besides each other, and looking at the type of build that they have and the height that they have, you can say that is the only thing which matches. And if that is the parameters which are taken, that's a perfect decision. But if you talk about the cricketing abilities, that's definitely a mismatch by a huge margin. That's what I feel. What do you
Yeah,
have to
true.
say?
Yeah, yeah. Completely agree with that. Yeah. So
बट
now,
कुछ तो रहा रहेगा यार क्रिकेटिंग लॉजिक मतलब ऐसे कैसे रेफरी अलाउ कर देगा मतलब it is such a obvious what you can say error. We, even though we are Indian cricket fans and all that, but then uh, Harshit for Shivam Dubey is absolutely a no brainer yaar matlab it's an error, it's a
But there was
error.
no
And
clarification from the
I
match
know.
referee also on that. Also,
I know.
Butler came into the press and he clearly said that we were not asked or we were not told about this. He's like, when I
Hmm.
walked into bat, I saw Harshit there and I was like, what is this guy doing? How on earth is he's a concussion substitute? And if you
Yeah.
see Butler being Butler, in the fifth T20, after the toss, when he was asked about the changes in the side, he just took the name of the
impact
player
subs.
who's
Yeah.
missing out, and then he's like, "We have four concussion substitutes," and took the names of the other four guys in the squad. That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best possible reply you could give. So it was
No,
all in
no.
good spirits, yeah.
Trust.
But
We can always trust the English to be salty. That's their nature. So, but ठीक है. I mean, come on.
But that's
Jay
how it
Shah,
is. It is what it is.
Jay Shah can make things happen, Baba.
Yeah. All right. So now next up, we've got the ODI series coming up. Again, three ODIs are batting. Our ODI batting greats come back and replace the people in form. But that's how it is.
Mm.
Even some Indians like me can be salty at times. Sagar.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
yeah, and then we have that big series, right? Champions Trophy coming up
Champions
in
Trophy.
February. So we've got a lot of cricket that is following up in February, and then beyond in March. And then obviously we have that 2.5 month carnival called as IPL that would follow. So a lot of cricket to follow, a lot of videos to make, a lot of podcasts to make, and share it with our North Stand gang fans, all three of them.
Yeah. Nee, so, I mean, you rightly pointed out, and one unique thing that will happen. So, I mean, the ODI series is, I think, starting in another 2 3 days, right?
Yeah,
And there are 3 games. Okay,
three
so
games. Yeah,
which is a much
First
required kind
one
of
is
a
in
prep.
your town, my friend.
Yeah,
Nagpur.
Nagpur. I know. See,
The
but
players have
but
already reached there, so you might just want to walk in, give them some words of wisdom.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe learn to play some leg spin.
No, but it will be very very interesting to see how quickly this team changes its approach, because I believe some of the players from our T20 side would be playing in that ODI side. Of course, a different captain, and a different mindset altogether. But the switch from the slam bang thing to slightly controlled kind of a white ball gameplay, it will be interesting to see that. Even from the bowling point of view, it will be very very interesting.
Yeah, also from a bowling point of view, right? What will be interesting to see is that Shami, he last played an
Mm,
ODI, which was the World Cup final.
I know,
You
I
know,
know.
so from 19 November 23 is going to play the 50 over format first in a couple of days, so almost like more
Yeah,
than a year. So I'm really excited to see how he goes because he's one of the main prospects in the going into the
Champions
Champions
Trophy. Yeah,
Trophy. So I'm
absolutely,
I'm just
absolutely.
excited for that fact.
and
Yeah,
we also hope that the goat is back again for the Champions Trophy. He's back
Goats.
here in Bangalore. He's back here in Bangalore, but would be great to see Bumrah and Shami both playing for India in the Champions Trophy.
Oh, I thought when you mentioned goats, you were talking about our OG captain and Virat Kohli, the two senior most guys in the team. I genuinely thought you
अरे
thought
भाई
about
ऐसे
them.
ऐसे गोट गोट बोले ना ऐसे,
Not
ये
after
फैन
BGT.
फैन क्लब्स फैन
Not after
क्लब्स फैन
BGT.
सी फैन क्लब्स ना, इंडिविजुअल फैन क्लब्स हैव एंश्योर्ड कि हर गली गली में गोट है, पता है क्या? एवरीवन इज गोट.
All right. Name a bowler who has taken more than 200 Test cricket wickets and averages less than 20.
Jasprit Bumrah.
Of
अरे
course,
मुझे
the list starts and ends there. So that becomes the greatest of all time bowler, a
The way
greatest of
that
all
that
time cricketer.
question came, right? You know, I knew it that it would be this. I was actually going to ask you that is it this player, current generation, old generation, but I thought no. I think that confidence in which that question came, it had to be Bumrah.
नहीं, but the
It's
why
like 21
why
average given away.
I'll tell you why I did not say Bumrah is because of that. You follow Twitter, you follow Instagram, मतलब I am now seeing, I just कुछ अभी कुछ देर पहले I was just scrolling. There is a Tilak Verma fan club which is forming. So don't be surprised if goat Tilak Verma starts trending very soon. It's madness. It's madness.
No, but that's fine. Like how we are all Sagar Walve fans, they are Tilak Verma fans, they are Rohit Sharma fans. I think that's very
Hmm.
common, right? Even we have a player who can bowl leg spin, bat at the top of the order, bat lower down the order, bowl pace. I've not seen him keep wickets, but I'm sure he can do that as well. So
I think
you
I
know,
think we have I think we have come to the close of our session, because Rushabh
I think
seems
Sagar
to
Sagar
be
needs a
seems to
concussion
be hungry.
substitute as well.
Rushabh seems to be hungry. He needs to have some food. Clearly, very clearly, his brain cells seem deprived of some glucose. So
All right, so
but it is great.
we'll catch up again. Maybe we will also cover the ODIs, and we'll definitely
yeah,
cover all the games of Champions Trophy. Champions Trophy has a very interesting format to start with, a round robin within just 4 teams. So Early losses may affect the team, and we may have some surprises. I hope not a surprise for India. Yes, Sagar.
Yeah, yeah. No, so before we end, just a question out to all our audiences, and I hope they don't Google it. What was Champions Trophy initially called?
Okay, I would like to take a guess, but since you have asked it for our
ICC Knockout
viewers,
Trophy.
Hey, bold the answer. Yeah, it was
Oh,
initially the
that was.
ICC knockout.
Oh, I just
Yeah,
guessed.
no, no, you're
But I
right.
think, yeah, so knockout happened in 2000. Then there was a Champions Trophy which was shared between India and Sri Lanka in
Yeah,
2022.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
2002, in fact. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
so okay, just
And
just
it's
let
with
me ask
very,
another
yeah,
question. That in the last, let me say, in the last 15 years, when was Champions Trophy or not conducted? In which year it was supposed to happen, but it didn't happen? I think we can have that
2020,
answer in the comments.
yeah, 2020
maybe
होगा
the,
You're
और क्या?
close, but you're not exactly there, Amadada. So I think we'll keep that question open,
okay.
and
Not 2020 is not the right answer because it's 2020, is it? And Champions Trophy is 50 overs. I'm sorry.
that's an intelligent save, right?
Sorry.
That's
Sorry
exactly
for
how
that.
you edge the ball and you tell the batsman, no, it hit my pad. It was not off the bat, right? That was actually smart, but I'll give that to you. Okay, but the
All
answer is
right,
not
that is
correct,
nice.
so maybe the viewers
So
can
let
answer that in the comments.
Yeah, something to look forward to in our next video.
all right. Thank you, everyone. Great to have
Thank
you
you,
Thanks,
here.
guys.
thanks,
Bye
Amay.
bye.
Thanks, Rishabh. Always a pleasure talking with you guys. Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye.